Welcome to the tutorial on Field Programmable Gate Array, in short FPGA. A field programmable gate array is an IC that contains an array of identical logic cells with programmable interconnections. The user can program the functions realized by each logic cell and the connections between the cells. The interior of the FPGA consists of an array of logic cells, also called as the configurable logic blocks, or in short CLBs. The array of CLBs is surrounded by a ring of input-output interface blocks, and these input-output blocks connect the CLB signals to IC pins. The space between the CLBs is used to route connections between the CLB outputs and the inputs. So here is the layout of a typical FPGA, which shows the various configurable logic blocks, that is CLB, and you have surrounded by the input-output blocks, and the space shows the interconnection area, and you can see the various arrays of identical logic cells. So if you want to check out the simplified version of the CLB, that is configurable logic block, you can see that it consists of two function generators, which are shown here. So these are the two function generators, two flip-flops, and various multiplexers. So you can see there's a multiplexer here and there's a multiplexer here for routing the signals between the CLB. So each function generator has 4 inputs and can implement any function up to 4 variables. The function generators are implemented as a lookup table, that is why it is represented as LUT, and a 4 input LUT is essentially a reprogrammable ROM with 16 1-bit words. So this ROM stores the truth table for the function being generated. The H multiplexer selects either F or G depending upon the value of H1. The CLB has 2 combinational outputs, X and Y, and 2 flip-flops, XQ and YQ. The X and Y outputs and the flip-flop inputs are selected by programmable multiplexers. The select inputs to the muxes are programmed when the FPGA is configured. For example, the X output can come from F function generator and the Y output from the H multiplexer. So here is an implementation of the lookup table, that is LUT, and this particular slide shows one way to implement a function with inputs A, B, C, D. The numbers in the squares represent the bits stored in the LUT. These bits enable particular minterms because the function being implemented is stored as a truth table. A function with only one minterm or with as many as 15 minterms requires a single function generator. That is because, as we have mentioned earlier, a CLB is having up to 4 input lines. So 4 input lines means 2 to the power 4, that is 16 combinations of the inputs can be implemented. So a maximum of 16 can be implemented using a single function generator. Now let us look into the decomposition of switching functions. So in order to implement a switching function of more than n variables using n variable function generators, the function must be decomposed into subfunctions where each subfunction requires only n variables or less. For example, if we want to implement a switching function of more than 4 variables using 4 variable function generator, the function must be decomposed into subfunctions where each subfunction requires only 4 variables. So one method of decomposition is the Shannon's expansion theorem, and the Shannon's expansion theorem is given here, wherein the function f can be expanded as taking xi dash as one common term and the remaining terms f have been represented wherein xi is considered as logic 0 plus xi is taken as common and that is being replaced in the function as logic 1. So this function can be written as xi dash f naught plus xi f1. So let us understand this Shannon's expansion theorem in detail with an example. So here is an example which says we need to realize a 4 variable function f of a, b, c, d, and the function is given in terms of an SOP expression. So we need to realize this using function generator. When we realize this using function generator, we need to realize this using a 3 variable function. In order to do that, we need to decompose the function of variables a, b, c and d to form a function of 3 variables. There are 3 ways to do it. One method is the simplification of the expression. The second method is to use the Karnaugh map, and the third method is to use the Shannon's expansion theorem. So let us look into each of them and let us see which one is the best way to represent the function and realize the expression that is being given. So you know that to represent a 4 variable function into 3 variable function, what we are going to do is we are going to expand the function about the variable a. So we are considering a as the term wherein we can represent in the form of the Shannon's expansion theorem. So what I am going to do here is the SOP expression that is there, I am going to expand it in terms of variable a. So you know that a plus a bar is equal to 1. So the term a plus a bar is added in the product terms wherever it is missing. So once I expand this, I can now combine a bar and a. So you know that in this particular case b bar c plus bcd can be represented as b bar plus bd with c common. So this can be further simplified as b bar plus d. And here we have c bar d bar plus bcd. So if I take the term BCD here and if I combine C bar D bar plus C bar, I have C bar to be common and D bar plus 1 is taken together, wherein BCD is kept as it is. So this term C bar plus BCD can be further simplified as shown here, and we get this as a bar C bar D bar plus B bar C plus CD, which is considered as F naught, plus A into C bar plus BD, which is considered as F1. This can be represented as A naught F naught plus A F1. The second method is to use a truth table or the Karnaugh map. So I am considering the SOP equation again, and I am trying to find out all the possible minterms, because when I map them onto the Karnaugh map, I should be knowing the all minterms which are present for that product term. So this C bar D bar can be represented as XX, where A and B are X and C and D corresponds to 0 0 because they are complemented. So the various combinations for this is 0 0 0 0, 0 1 0 0, 1 0 0 0, 1 1 0 0. Similarly, we have for the term A bar, B bar, C and BCD and AC bar. Now using these possible minterms, I can easily map them onto the Karnaugh map. So I have repeated the same thing here again, and I am going to map them onto the Karnaugh map. So this is my original function f of a, b, c, d. If I want to simplify this as a 3 variable Karnaugh map, I am going to wrap around the variable a. So I am dividing the Karnaugh map equally because a is the one which is being present in the MSB position. So you can see that for the first 2 cells a is equal to 0, and for the remaining 2 cells at the bottom a is equal to 1. So that is why I have divided the Karnaugh map in between. Now I am going to group them separately. So when I group them separately, you can see the terms that I get, that is C bar BD, C bar D bar, CD and B bar C. These terms are exactly the same that we have obtained earlier. So from the Karnaugh map, this is what we get, and the final expression will be equal to A bar F0 plus A F1. If you compare the method 1 with the method 2, you will be able to see that the expressions for F0 and F1 remains the same. Now the last method, that is using the Shannon's expansion theorem. Here what we are doing is, we are directly replacing the function A with logic 0 and with logic 1, and we are bringing A bar as common outside. So here I am writing it as A bar f of, in place of A 0 is present, that is because this is represented as a complement. Here A is taken out as common, and instead of A 1 is written because this is not a complemented term. So here I can directly write this as A bar F0 plus A F1, which is obtained by replacing A with 0 in this particular function to yield F0 and A with 1 to yield F1. So you can see that from all the 3 methods, the result obtained is exactly the same, and the easiest way of representation or solving the numerical would be the method 3, which directly uses the Shannon's expansion theorem without looking into what is the SOP expression that is given. So finally, I can represent the 4 variable function using 3 input function generators and a 2:1 marks as a function generator FG having B, C, D as the input lines. So I will require 2 function generators because I have 2 functions F0 and F1, and these F0 and F1 are around the variable A. So for a 2:1 marks, which requires a single select line, A will be the select line. So I have the input as logic 0 and logic 1. For logic 0 F0, and for logic 1 it is going to be F1, and the output obtained is the function f consisting of 4 variables. So what we have done here is a 4 variable function has been realized using 3 variable function generators and a 2:1 mark. So with this example, let us solve some numericals. So here is a question which says we need to realize a 5 variable function with 4 input function generators. So they have given a 5 variable function and they have specified function A, B, C, D, E. I can directly write this as A bar F0 B, C, D, E plus A, F F1, B, C, D, E, wherein I can represent this as A bar F0 plus A F1 directly using the Shannon's expansion theorem. So BCDE is the 4 input function generator with outputs F0 and F1. For output F0 we have the input of the marks corresponding to logic 0, and for F1 we have input of the marks corresponding to logic 1, and the mux is 2:1 mux with the select input of A, and directly we can obtain the function F. Now coming to the second numerical, here they have specified that we need to realize a 6 variable function generator with 4 input function generators. Now since this is a 6 variable function generator, we cannot represent it directly. So what we are going to do is apply the Shannon's expansion theorem twice. That means we are going to wrap around with variable A and with variable B. So the given function is g of A, B, C, D, E, F, and I am going to represent first in terms of A. So you can see I have represented it as 0 here, and A is represented as 1 here, and this becomes A bar G0 plus A G1. So I'm going to name this as equation 1 because I have multiple expressions here, and then G0 will be again represented or expanded using the Shannon's expansion theorem, wherein I am considering in terms of B. So here when I am considering in terms of B, I will be having G0 wherein A will be equal to 0 and B will vary from 0 to 1. So you have G0 to be B bar G 0, 0 and plus B G 0, 1. So this can be represented as B bar G 0, 0 plus B G 0, 1. This is equation number 2. For G1, I am going to consider A to be equal to 1 and B varying from 0 to 1. So this expression becomes B bar G10 and this becomes B G11. So this will be represented as G1 to be equal to B bar G10 plus B G11. So here on substituting the equation 2 and 3 in equation 1 that we have obtained, because equation 2 is G0, equation 3 is G1. So we have to substitute that in the expression for G. So doing that we get A bar B bar G00 plus A bar B G01, AB bar G10 plus AB G11. Now to represent this expression in terms of function generators, we have the function generators having the 4 input lines C, D, E, F. Then we are going to make use of 2:1 mux. You have to be careful here because each function generator yields different output. This yields an output of G00, this yields an output of G01, G10 and G11. For this particular 2:1 mux, the select line is B, whereas the output of this particular mux will be G0 and G1, and the next 2:1 mux will have a select line A which will yield an output G. In general, we can realize any n variable function n greater than 4 using 2 to the power n minus 4 variable function generators and 1 2 to the power n minus 4 to 1 mux. So this is a worst case situation because many functions of n variables can be realized with fewer function generators.